What's up, internet? Definitely not a video I plan to make. I'm not sure how this happened, but I've got fuel in cylinders, at least cylinder number 2. I think cylinders 1 and 2 on the old GSXR, and definitely got oil. I was about to say oil in the gas, but gas in the oil. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. If you look at the sight window here, the bike is on its side stand right now. You shouldn't be able to see any oil in the sight window when the bike's on its side stand, because it's on the side stand and it's almost at the fuel mark. So I think it's got quite a bit of fuel in it. Sadly, this is a disaster. If I lift the bike up to its balance point as if it was on a paddock stand, which is about right there, you can see the fuel level is way above the full mark. Now, you can also tell, I don't know how well it'll come through on the camera, but you can also tell a little bit of discoloration in the oil. This bike only had maybe 100 miles since I changed the oil last, so it was brand new oil. But it also has this kind of, it just looks like it's thinned out, which makes sense if gasoline has leaked in there, but it definitely wasn't this full of oil. So let's get the GSXR up on the lift and take a closer look. So I took the bike out a couple of days ago just to let the engine get hot, let the brake fluid move around a little bit, just to let the bike kind of stretch its legs out. And I put some gas in it. I didn't fill it up all the way. I probably put 2.5 gallons in, maybe something like that, because it was pretty low. And came back home, put the bike away. The next day I could smell fuel in the garage, and I thought maybe because I did have to JB weld one of the float balls, I thought, dang it, I bet you that JB weld broke and she's leaking fuel from there. Or worse yet, the new fuel pump, maybe the seal just gave way and was leaking fuel. But then I saw that the fuel was leaking off of the headers, and I thought, what the heck? And then also I noticed the oil level that I showed you guys just a second ago. So it's really, really strange, but let's take a look. So I think that will work better. All right, so cylinder number 1, you should be able to see some wet and dry spots there, and then come around to cylinder number 2. So at least cylinder 1 and 2 look like they have fuel in them. Well, I guess let's get started. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera, but right there on the front of number 4 carburetor, you can see a little bit of JB weld. That's where I thought it was going to leak from. And then I thought maybe it would be unfortunate, but maybe it would be leaking out of the fuel pump. But that all looks good. Looks somewhat dry in there. Okay, so I think next we'll pull the plugs, start draining the oil, and go from there. I'm afraid to pull that line off. It's probably just gonna be soaking wet. Oh, you can see underneath the intake boots. Yeah, definitely see it running down from the intake boots.
It's making you run in the field.
Okay, I pulled all the plugs out. I think I might have at least a little bit of fuel, and maybe across all 4 cylinders. I pulled number 3 out, and it was a little bit wet. They're all wet. Smell like gas. That sucks. And you can even see, you look in here. I mean, you can hear. I mean, part of that is the rubber diaphragm on the top. It's supposed to be airtight and create suction. Works via vacuum, but you can see fuel in there. Look at this one. This one's really bad. I mean, there's just fuel sitting right there. Oh, this is horrible. I wonder if this petcock here, which this is a vacuum line, this is the fuel line, and so this is, you know, it's supposed to release and open based on vacuum. When there's no vacuum, it's supposed to close, I believe. So, I mean, maybe this guy's broken. It's not doing its job, and there's just fuel flowing all the time. You can see it's just dripping off. You see the fuel line here, the inlet is wet. So, what I've decided to do is I've got a little plastic bottle that I've cut the top off of, and we're going to put this underneath each carburetor, each individual carburetor, drain the float bowls, and I'll probably just dump it right back into the gas tank once I feel comfortable that the petcock is not just letting fuel out via gravity back into the carburetors, because disposing of fuel is difficult. So we're just going to dump it in here, each carburetor. Once we've seen they haven't refueled via gravity, then we'll dump it back into the tank and move on to the next one. So we got the float bowls drained, carburetors off the bike. I used a baster to suck the fuel out of the intake boots. Like cylinder number 2 was full to the brim. This is kind of neat because you can reach all the way down into the intake valve, to the stem of the intake valve, suck all the fuel out. So that actually worked out quite well. I think what I'm going to do at this point is just leave everything open. The plug holes, the intake boots, and just let everything just kind of air dry out. I think I might know what the problem is. I think I might know what happened. Let me show you this. So here's our fuel line coming off, and I'm getting, I don't know if it'll show up on the little DJI camera, but I'm getting this continuous drip, and that shouldn't be. It should have stopped by now. So I think this is leaking, and just via gravity, we're just getting this continuous drip out of our petcock. And I think that must have just, over time, created enough pressure that it just blew by the float, the floats, and just flooded everything. So I'm going to let that sit there and just continue to monitor it. If it just keeps filling up my little Pure Leaf unsweet tea bottle, then we're gonna have to pull the tank off, drain it, get a new petcock, replace that guy. That's a damn shame. But to me, it looks like this is just going to continue to drip and fill up the bottle, and I'm gonna have to donate all this gas to my lawnmower, I think is what's probably gonna happen. So this fuel line has just been dripping in here. This bottle started down here. There wasn't much in it. And it's been dripping and dripping. It's risen all the way up to here. That shouldn't happen. It's leaking. This petcock is leaking, and gravity is just forcing fuel. And I think that's just what overwhelmed the carburetors and the engine. So we're just gonna let everything we're just gonna leave everything open, plug holes, intakes, just let everything dry out. We're gonna drain the tank as much as we can. And I think I don't need to take the tank off. I think I can replace this petcock right where it's at. Just 2 bolts. We just need to make sure we get the fuel level down. Having the tank propped up like this will help. So it really kind of takes me off because that petcock's brand new, the fuel pump and everything. I replaced the petcock when I rebuilt the fuel pump and everything, and there's a video. I'll put it in one of the corners. But that's it for now. I don't want to just hold on to this footage until I get the petcock in, and days go by, and editing video with footage spanning over the course of weeks is a pain in the butt. So I'm not going to do that. We're going to call this video part 1, and yeah, that's it. Part 2 will be replacing the petcock, getting this thing back on the road again. And then maybe one day I'll finish the fairings behind the motocross bike there. I know there's some people out on the internet that are low-key salty with me for not getting that done. And yeah, they should be. I should have got that done by now, but I just haven't done it. So, you know what to do. Keep it upside down. We'll see you in the next video.